What would you say are 3 secrets that millionaires who have it all have? What have they
good question.
What have they figured out to become a millionaire, to have the love, to have the family, to have it all?
Yeah.
And the impact everything, doing the things they love. What are the secrets? You've got all these habits, but what is the real secret that's different than the actionable habits? Maybe it's a belief, maybe it's a way of thinking, maybe it's
good question.
The self-education side of things. What is that?
So I would say, because I would bet to say there's not one person listening that would take a salary of $5 million a year, but it was impossible to have love, or take a salary for $5 million a year, but you couldn't see your husband or see your wife, right? Or be unhappy. Money without fulfillment is useless. It's probably the biggest lie the world is told, right? And I know you read Millionaire Success Habits.
Yeah, it's great.
It's Millionaire Success Habits, but it's really life success habits, right?
Sure.
It's like when people start going I could make more money this way, but this is really, I can fix my life.
I'll feel better.
Relationship,
Yeah.
I'll feel better, right? So I think it's a really great question. I wasn't prepared for it, but I know for a fact some of them. One of them is people that, whatever you focus on, whatever gets your attention gets results. If you're listening right now and you're in great shape, it means your body is getting attention. You're eating the right food. You're working out. If your company's doing amazing, you have focus, attention, and hunger. That's a great one too. Is you have hunger for that business. You have hunger to be in great shape. If you have a romantic, passionate love and relationship for 15 years, it gets your focus. It gets your attention. You don't ignore it. So the one thing that I've seen is, if you think of all the habits someone can have, is someone who's successful in every way, or in a lot of ways, not just wealthy, but overweight and unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Overweight and unhealthy, is they really know what's important, and they say no to all the things that complicate that. So I don't want to go down this too far, but I make myself a not to do list all the time, Lewis, and I obsess on knowing what I really want. Most times people that are living with suffering or stress or worry, most of their life is focused on what they don't want. I don't want this employee to be annoying anymore. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this president anymore. I don't. And they don't have enough of knowing in crystal clear clarity where it is they want to go. So you asked me one thing in common. The most successful people I know, if you got them in an elevator and say, hey man, what's the next year of your life look like? Bam, bam. You know this from all your interviews. We're doing this. We're starting this new company. We're doing this. You ask somebody who's struggling or not happy, they'll tell you what they don't want. Even if you ask them, and anybody listening, you could do this. Ask somebody who's not doing well what they want out of life, and they'll tell you what they don't want. They'll go, you know what? I don't want this damn job anymore, even though you asked them what they want. So I think
that's someone who's not doing well in life.
Not doing well. So I really believe that.
I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be
broke.
in this relationship.
I don't want to be in this shit ass relationship. Yeah. She doesn't give me hope, or he doesn't listen to me. Right? I don't want to be in this job where everybody takes him. It's like, but what do you really want? Man, I just don't want to worry about the money anymore. It's like, wow. Yeah. But ask somebody who's successful in a lot of areas of your life, like, oh man, I want to get my new company off the ground. I want to get in better shape. Like, they know where it is they want to go. So I would say, because
then they can figure out, okay, what are the steps to getting there?
Right.
How do I do that?
Right.
Now?
So
yeah.
I guess a longer answer to a short question, because you asked for 3, is if you really know where you want, you point your ship in that direction. And successful people start saying no to all the things that don't serve them going in that direction. If it doesn't serve God, it doesn't serve a better version of you. It doesn't serve more income, a better relationship.
Health, yeah.
It doesn't serve your health. Successful people know how to say, I'm not doing it. Or someone talks in their life, you're gone. Like,
they're not eating the sugar, they're not drinking, they're not doing those things. Yeah.
And literally, when you do that in all areas of life, where do I want to go with my health? Okay, anything that doesn't serve that, I'm not doing it. Where do I want to go with my income? Okay, I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to point my ship in that direction. If it doesn't match, I'm throwing it away. Where do I want with my intimacy and my passion? Like, figure out, read the books, gain the capabilities. Yeah. So that's one. Number two is, this is going to be the simplest one. But it's going to be so simple. Listeners are going to go, oh, this guy's a freaking genius.
Secrets, yeah.
Is focus on the things that work in your life and be the observer of the things that work. You come home in your relationship and you say something and your wife or your husband lights up. Like, acknowledge that and do more of it. Like, this is going to be the simplest answer you've ever heard. And then on the opposite side, acknowledge what doesn't work in your life and do less of it or change it. And as simple as that sounds, I learned that through marketing. I love to market because I know if I can get my book in people's hands, if I get my courses in people's hands, they come to my workshops, they come to my master classes, they come to my masterminds, I can change their life. I can't change their life if I don't get them in. So marketing isn't one of those things I have to do. It's a must because I get to change your life the moment you give me a credit card. Give me a credit card to buy my book. You read it, your life is altered. So with that feeling, like I went in so many different directions. I lost my train of thought there. Go back.
Focus on what you want and observe.
Yeah.
So observe what you don't want.
Right. So I learned that. That's what. Thank you for reminding me that. Is I was going to go down a marketing trail, but what I got so good at marketing. There's so many different, like, what's the color website? Do you use an arrow? What's the opt-in? What's the close? How did you anchor? What's the hook? What's like, all I know with marketing is I love being transparent and enthusiastic. But the last thing is I've obsessed on what works in my marketing and I get feedback. I've read probably 100,000 comments, because tens of thousands of comments, because I read and I hear what people's fears are. I hear what they like about my stuff. I hear what they don't. And when I see a bunch of people telling me what they like, here's the brilliant Dean Graziosi. I do more of it.
Yeah.
And when they tell me this didn't work, it was complicated, I was a little confused, the brilliance comes out again. I do less of it. And I realize successful people do that in all areas of your life. If having 3 drinks at night makes me not get up in the morning to go to the gym and the gym makes me feel good, I'll have FOMO of not going to the gym. I'm going to do less of that 3-hour drinking rather than quitting the gym so I can get there, because that makes, so I'm doing less of what hurts me, more of what works. That's the same process of thinking. Living life the hard way is easy, and living life the easy way is hard.
Interesting.
Right? So, I mean, when you're hungry, just grab a McDonald's. It tastes good. It's easy. It's quick. Right? That's easy.
Cheap, yeah.
But you could end up with diabetes, dying young, not looking good, not being healthy, not getting the love you want because you look like shit. Just let's be honest.
Yeah.
Going and eating the right food, eating organic, going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning is hard. But I look at my dad. My dad's been eating healthy and working out his entire life. My dad's 84. My dad's 84. I'm not kidding you. My dad looks like he's 55 years old.
Wow.
No exaggeration. No, I'm not saying like no hunch. No, like the man, he runs on the I mean, the guy is an anomaly. But my dad lived the hard way. He said no to all the greasy food. He got up every single day and has gone to the gym for the last 30 years. Like, so just think about that. It's like, focus on what works and do more of it. I know if I treat my fiance a certain way, she looks at me with love at the highest level. I acknowledge what is her love language, and I see if I do something for her, if I'm there for her, if I'm always looking at her, my eyes are on her, even if I'm across the room, she lights up. So man, I want more of that.
You do more of it.
So I do more of it.
Yeah.
I see if a girl walks by and I look at her, it doesn't go so well. So I do less of that.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So as simple as that sounds, think about in your life, are you compounding what works and eliminating what doesn't?
Okay, I love it. Yeah. That's point number 2.
And the third one's real easy. It's self-education. I never stopped learning. When I was in my 20s,
This is huge,
I
yeah.
cut Tony Robbins a check. He gave me wisdom, capabilities, confidence, and my life went to another level, at every level.
Yeah.
I get involved in masterminds. After Tony introduced me to all these people through his Power Talks, every month a new Power Talk came in the mail on a CD.
Yeah.
Man, I'd learn about Wayne Dyer, obsess on Wayne Dyer, get his courses, get his trainings, anything I could do. And I realized that every single, including you, every single successful person I know is a part of groups, a part of masterminds, a part of self-education, learning from other people. I mean, look at this weekend. Look at how we all solved our problems this weekend in moments. You bring up, like, how should I do this? Like this. Somebody's been there. And it's the collective wisdom of the room, or it's someone who's already been there. And I would say in today's world, just be careful because, and not knocking anybody, but influencer's got a weird name now. Influencer could be somebody who's run a $400 million a year company and now wants to share. An influencer could also be someone who shows a lot of fancy cars and got 2 million followers, and both consider an influencer.
Yeah.
Just model people who are doing what you want to do at the highest level possible.
Right.
If your Aunt Edna watched tennis her whole life, but you want to be a tennis pro, you're not going to go to Aunt Edna just because she watched. You want to go to an ex-pro.
Pro.
Right? So I think, self-education, it's one of the things I'm doing with my buddy Tony Robbins. It's our passion right now to make self-education the new norm, because literally the other day we're having a conversation and I said, without self-education, we're both laughing our asses off that we'd both be just totally screwed if we didn't find this path, right? And it's funny talking to him because he's the one that got me started on the path, right? And I said, we probably would have met if I didn't find self-education, but it would have been if you were in upstate New York and you went through a McDonald's drive-thru and I would have asked you if you wanted to supersize those fries, right? And we just laughed hard. But we've been really passionate, and we're working on a project together to help people extract the knowledge in their head. Like, let's just be honest, and I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but the current education system's broken.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they won't fix it, but it's broken. It's antiquated. Technology's moving too fast. Colleges have gone up 8 times while jobs and salaries have stayed flat.
Yeah. Well, they're also teaching us the things that aren't serving
They're not relevant.
our lives forever.
Yeah.
They're teaching us subjects. They're not teaching us a belief system.
Right, a belief system, habits, successful traits, right? It's just the world has changed so much, and it needs to be updated. But until then, self-education should be the norm. I mean, you think about this, my staff, the majority of my staff right now are young as heck. But I'm not hiring people. Half of my staff haven't gone to college. I have a 19-year-old kid running my social media ad spend. He spends a couple $100,000 a week every week. He's 19. I have a 22-year-old doing everything on YouTube. We're killing it on YouTube. I have all these young kids, and how I hired them, because I'm in this phase of my life, is I didn't care where they went to school or if they went to school, and I didn't care if they ever worked before. All I wanted to know is, was self-education a part of their life? Did they read the same books, do the same courses as I did? Were they A players, and were they teachable? And if that was, I'd hire them. I just hire a consultant to come in, train them for a day, 2 days, a week, and then let them go. Wow. I think I have the best staff on the planet, and most of those kids would have been misfits in corporate America. So Tony and I want to share, like, the answer to that is in everybody's list. Like right now, if you're listening, the answer to fix this problem is in your head, because the world has got so niche that, there's people having workshops on how to cut a fade, how to cut a fade in a hair, and a barber, instead of just making money cutting hair, he's making a fortune every month teaching other people how to do it, right? Everybody has an expertise, and what Tony and I want to do is help the world unlock it, learn how to share it, and get paid for it. Here's a crazy stat that an industry that didn't even exist not that long ago. The self-education business is a $355 million a day industry. And I just read an article where it's expected to double in the next 2 years. The world is realizing that I can go to school and then learn from somebody, or I went to school 20 years ago and it's not serving me. I'm not even in that field. You go to school, learn from somebody, get 30 years of experience, then hopefully get a promotion, or you can leapfrog and learn from somebody who already has the experience if they can just extract it and share it. Like I look at what we've learned, like a skill, an expertise, a hobby, whatever it is. If it's like a hard drive that builds up value, if you wouldn't throw that hard drive away after 20 years or 10 years or 5 years of accumulating knowledge, like throw away a multi-million-dollar hard drive. I think people should feel that way about their thoughts, their skills, their expertise. Like, if you have a knowledge, if it took you a year or 2 or 3 to figure something out, you should be obligated to extract it. But here's the cool part. There's a process to extract it.
Yeah.
Share it with people and get paid. It's a $355 million industry. When Tony and I started, Tony started way before me, but I'm over 20 years in this. It wasn't that cool, but it is now. That's why people listen to your podcast. They want new capabilities. Most people's best thinking got them where they are. I don't know if that was confusing.
No, that's great. It's the reason why I started the School of Greatness, because I felt like when I got started in business, when I was on my sister's couch, I didn't know the answers, but I knew that school didn't teach me the answers, and I needed to go seek them out. So I started seeking out mentors who had the answers. And
Amazing.
I was kind of masterminding on my own, one-on-one with people when I was 23, 24 years old on my sister's couch. Then I remember they helped me get into business. Like these ideas from these mentors, they coached me, and I had the coachability and the desire. So I was hungry for it. They coached me to getting into business and launching it. I remember everything shifted when I joined my first mastermind. It was 2009, and 10 years ago. And I remember my business did about $500,000 in sales for 12 months, this 12 months before this. Then I went to the first mastermind. The next month, I made $250,000 from the mastermind, from connecting with a few people, from the insights, from the knowledge I gained. I was like, wow, I can save so much time and money by doing this one thing. And I've been a part of masterminds for the last 10 years. And we just came back from one that
Game changer.
is going to help our businesses and everything for the next 3, 4, or 5 years to come from what we learned in 2 days. And so what are you and Tony Robbins doing then with this project, and how are you helping people? How can we get involved?
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're an expert, you have a skill, you have knowledge, you're in this business, like as you're hearing this, like imagine learning from Tony. And I don't think there's two people more capable. He's in 42 years. I'm in 21. We got 63 years of knowledge in this business. But if you're listening and you're already in this business, you're like, hey, I want to learn from these guys. And what we're teaching people to do in a blueprint is how to extract your knowledge and teach it in a way that's congruent. Whether you want to teach it online or in person through like a workshop or an online Zoom call or a mastermind, or if you want to build a community. I mean, in today's world, building a community and bringing like-minded people together creates massive revenue. That's where this $355 million a day is. So if you're already in this space, you're going to want to, and we created a link if you guys want. It's greatnesslink.com. Tony and I are doing, and Tony hasn't done something like this in over 15 years. We're doing a special online training. And everybody listening right now, you can register. Go to greatnesslink.com and register. Get the time. Show up 15 minutes early because there's going to be a live chat.
So you and Tony are going to be teaching something.
Yes, me and Tony.
What are you teaching on this training?
Real and raw. We're going to teach people how to extract their knowledge. But this is why I want everybody to listen right now. How to extract their knowledge and share it. Make an impact on the world. Everybody wants to make an impact, including you and I and everybody listening. Imagine making an impact and get paid. But who I really want to listen right now, this is real. I mean, people are in the business already know, but this is for anybody right now if you're listening and want to make additional revenue. If you'd love to make an impact on the world, you need to come hang out with Tony and I, because what most people don't realize is that this is an industry. If you're an expert, you should extract your knowledge, learn how to share it, and learn how to profit. But here's the thing. It's for everyone who wants to make more money and make an impact, because if you look at, we're going to teach you how to be the reporter of knowledge. Think about this. Tony wrote one of the most successful finance books in the history of the world. Money Master the Game. Big monster read. Book went crazy. Tony's not a finance guy.
Yeah, he was a reporter. He curated the information.
He curated the information. He was the reporter of the information. And he was able to share it and make a massive profit. I was on stage at my event and I said, hey, if I never did a real estate deal in my life, who in this room would pay me to come to a virtual workshop and showing you how to do real estate? You know, thousands of people, not one person raised their hand. I said, okay, but what if I went and interviewed the top 10 real estate investors in America, and I found their 7 common denominators for success? What if I was doing a Zoom workshop on that? Who would pay me $1,000 to come on it? The whole entire audience raised their hand. This is where our world is going. Technology has changed. The world has changed. People are ready to pay for community, for collaboration. So whether you're the expert or not, you have the opportunity to profit and make an impact and help change the world. Fix education and do what Tony and I want, make self-education the new norm. I realize that every single, including you, every single successful person I know is a part of groups, a part of masterminds, a part of self-education, learning from other people. It's the collective wisdom of the room, or it's someone who's already been there.